You checked your bank account this morning. Nothing alarming, no giant purchase, no emergency, no splurge you regret, just the usual. And yet somehow you're still short. Again. Every single month, money disappears from your life without a single dramatic moment to blame it on. No one robbed you, no disaster hit, it just vanished. Hi, I'm Dave. I've spent years studying the psychology of money, the weird ways our brains trick us into financial decisions we don't even realize we're making. And what I've found keeps surprising people, because the biggest financial threats in your life right now are not the big ones. They're the small ones, the invisible ones, the ones that feel totally harmless. Today, we're talking about 6 small things that are quietly stealing $500 from you every single month. And the most dangerous part? They're designed to be invisible. Let's start with number 1. You signed up for it during a free trial. You're excited. Maybe it was a fitness app, a meditation platform, a creative software suite, or a streaming service you found during a random Tuesday night. You used it for 2 weeks, maybe 3. Then life got busy, you moved on. But the subscription didn't move on with you. Dr. David Gall, a behavioral economist at the University of Illinois, found something that sounds obvious, but most people refuse to believe about themselves. People dramatically overestimate how much they use recurring services. In studies, participants thought they used their gym memberships about 5 times a month. The actual average? Less than once. They were paying for an identity, not a service. They wanted to be the kind of person who went to the gym. The monthly charge felt like proof of that. And here's where it gets expensive. The average American household now carries between 12 and 17 active subscriptions at any given time. Add up the ones you've forgotten, the cloud storage you upgraded once and never reduced, the news site you subscribed to for one article during an election cycle, the kids' learning app your youngest outgrew, the premium tier of something you use the free version of on a different device. Research from C+R Research showed that consumers underestimate their monthly subscription spending by nearly 80%. They think they're spending around $86 a month. The actual number? Around $219. That gap alone covers almost half of the $500 we're talking about. So here's what you need to do. Not what you plan to do, what you need to actually do this week. Go to your bank or credit card statement. Filter by recurring charges. Look at every single one and ask one question. Did I use this in the last 30 days? If the answer is no, cancel it today. Not after you check if you'll need it, today. Number 2 is one of the most well-documented financial traps in the world, and yet it keeps working on almost everyone. It works because it exploits a specific glitch in how your brain processes value. Think about this. You're at the grocery store. A bottle of olive oil is normally priced at $12. Today, it's on sale, 40% off. You weren't planning to buy olive oil. You have some at home. But your brain does something fascinating. It doesn't register this as spending $8. It registers this as saving $5. That distinction, as small as it sounds, changes everything. Dr. Richard Thaler, the behavioral economist who won the Nobel Prize in 2017, called this mental accounting. Your brain keeps separate mental budgets for different categories of spending, and when something is framed as a deal, your brain books the savings into one account and ignores the actual spending in another. You feel richer, you're poor. The sale didn't save you money. It cost you $8 you weren't going to spend. Multiply that across a month of grocery runs, clothing sales, app promotions, fast food combo deals, and flash discounts your phone sends you in a push notification, and you've spent well over $100 on things you never needed, all while feeling financially responsible. This is intentional. Retailers know that the word sale on a tag increases purchase likelihood by up to 30%, even when the original price was inflated just to make the markdown look dramatic. You weren't being irrational. You were being exactly as rational as your brain was designed to be, but that design is being used against you. The fix is simple but uncomfortable. Before any purchase triggered by a discount, ask yourself one question. Would I buy this right now at full price? If the answer is no, the sale is not a saving, it's a trap.
Number 3 will make you uncomfortable because it doesn't feel like a financial decision at all. It feels like social life. You get a text. Dinner tonight? Someone's birthday. A promotion celebration. A going away party. A friend who's in town for the weekend. Just drinks. Nothing big. You say yes because you want to see people. Because saying no feels antisocial. Because it's just one night. And it is just one night. Except it keeps happening. And every night out costs more than you planned. There's a pickle-up psychological phenomenon called the planning fallacy, first identified by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, two of the most important researchers in behavioral science. We consistently underestimate costs and time for future events. You plan to spend $30 at dinner. The appetizer, the second drink, the splitting of the dessert, the Uber home, the late-night snack because you didn't eat enough at the restaurant. You're at $75. You do this 4 times in a month. That's $300 that never appeared in your budget because you never budgeted for it properly. This isn't about not going out. It's about what researchers call the intention-behavior gap. You intend to spend 30, you behave in a way that spends 75. Every time. The solution isn't to stop having a social life. It's to budget for your actual social life, not your idealized one. Look at what you actually spent last month on social occasions, not what you planned to spend. That number is your real social budget. Work with it honestly. Let's talk about number 4, and this one is hiding in plain sight in your kitchen. You have groceries at home. You bought them with good intentions on Sunday. There's chicken in the fridge, there are vegetables, there's rice. And on Wednesday at 6:47 p.m. after a long and draining day, you open a delivery app and spend $22 on food that takes 40 minutes to arrive. The chicken is still in the fridge. This is not laziness. This is a well-documented behavioral response to decision fatigue. By the end of a mentally demanding day, your brain's capacity to make effortful decisions is genuinely depleted. Roy Baumeister, a psychologist at Florida State University, spent decades researching this. The more decisions you make throughout a day, the worse you get at making new ones by evening. The delivery app wins not because it's better than your fridge. It wins because clicking 3 times is easier than thinking about what to cook. Americans now waste, on average, between 30% and 40% of food they purchase. Disappointed. That means roughly 1 in every 3 grocery trips you take is effectively a donation to your trash can. And on top of the food waste, you're adding delivery fees, service charges, tips, and surge pricing, sometimes doubling the cost of a meal you could have made for $6. The math is brutal. If you're ordering delivery 4 times a week at an average of $22, that's $88 per week. $352 per month just in delivery orders for food you probably already had the ingredients for. The fix is boring, but it works. On Sunday, don't just buy groceries. Spend 20 minutes deciding what you'll cook on which night. Make it so simple that Wednesday evening you doesn't have to think. Reduce the decision load, and you reduce the delivery spend. Number 5 is the most psychologically sophisticated trap on this list. It's used by every bank, every airline, every hotel chain, every retailer with a loyalty program, and it works because it turns your own psychology against your wallet. You have points, maybe airline miles, maybe a credit card rewards balance, or store credit at a retailer you shop at regularly. These points feel like free money, feel like they exist outside of your real spending. They feel like found treasure. They're not. And the research is clear about why. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people spend significantly more when paying with points, miles, or any form of non-cash currency compared to paying with actual money. The psychological distance between points and real value makes spending feel cheaper than it is. You'll book an upgraded hotel room with miles that you would never pay cash for. You'll redeem points for merchandise you wouldn't have bought otherwise. You'll spend more on a credit card to chase a sign-up bonus that only pays out if you hit a minimum spend threshold. The bonus you're chasing to earn free travel? It usually requires spending $1,500 or more in 90 days. If you wouldn't have spent that money otherwise, you paid $1,500 for a plane ticket. There's nothing free about it. Loyalty programs are not broken. They work exactly as designed. They're designed to make you spend more and feel better about it. The average American household has over $3,000 in unredeemed loyalty points sitting in accounts they've forgotten about or will let expire. You earned them by overspending, then you didn't even use them. The question to ask with every points-related decision is simple. If this cost real dollars right now, would I still say yes? If not, walk away. And now, number 6, and this one is the quietest, the most invisible, the most personal, and for a lot of people, the most expensive one on this list: your phone. Not the device, the habit, the micro purchases embedded into every idle moment of your day. You're waiting for a coffee, you scroll. An ad appears for something you mentioned in a conversation 3 days ago. The algorithm is not subtle. You tap. It's $12. Fast shipping is $3 more. Sold. You don't think about it again. You're in bed before sleep. You're bored. You buy one thing on an app, a game add-on, a digital book you'll never finish, a gadget that promises to solve a small problem. Under $20. Not a big deal.
But behavioral researchers at MIT and Stanford have documented what they call the friction-free spending effect. Traditional commerce had natural friction points: physical trips to a store, waiting in checkout lines, handling cash, seeing the total add up. Every friction point gave your rational brain a moment to intervene. Digital commerce, and especially mobile commerce, has systematically removed every single friction point. One tap, Face ID confirms, done. Your brain barely registered a purchase. Dr. Drazen Prelec, a professor at MIT's Sloan School of Management, demonstrated that the pain of paying, a real neurological response your brain produces when you spend money, is almost entirely neutralized when payment becomes abstract and instant. With cash, the pain of paying is high. With a credit card, it drops. With a one-click mobile purchase, it nearly disappears. You're not spending carelessly. Your brain is simply not receiving the signal it was designed to receive. The warning light is off. The average person in a developed country now makes between 4 and 7 micro purchases per week from their phone. At an average of $15 each, that's $60 to $105 per week. Over a month, $300 to $450 in purchases you'll mostly forget about within 48 hours. The fix is to reintroduce friction deliberately. Delete the saved payment info from shopping apps. Force yourself to re-enter your card number every time. Add a 24-hour waiting rule for any non-essential mobile purchase. Let the rational part of your brain catch up to the impulsive part. So here's what we've found. Forgotten subscriptions you're paying for but not using. Sale traps that make spending feel like saving. Social spending that always costs more than you planned. Food delivery filling the gap your depleted brain refuses to cook through. Loyalty programs designed to make you spend more chasing rewards. And frictionless mobile purchases that your brain barely feels. 6 things. None of them dramatic, none of them headline-worthy, none of them feel like a problem until you add them up. $12 here, $22 there, $35 for a birthday dinner, $19.99 recurring, $40 for a flash sale, $15 for something you bought at midnight and forgot by morning. That's $500 gone every single month without a single moment that felt like a decision. And here's the truth that makes this worth sitting with. You don't have a spending problem. You have a visibility problem. The money leaving your life every month is doing it in the dark, through systems and psychological patterns that are specifically engineered to avoid your attention. The first step isn't a budget, it's a light. Go look at where the money actually went last month, not where you think it went, where it actually went. Because here's what I know from everything the research shows. The moment you can see it clearly, it stops having power over you. You checked your bank account this morning and felt that quiet unease, that nothing to blame it on kind of short. Now you know exactly what to look for.
And what to look for has always been right there, hiding in the small things.